Hello boys and girls, today we're going to start out with some breathing. And I want everybody to smile, take a deep breath in, and relax. One more time. Smile, take a deep breath in, and relax. Today we have a very special day. We're going to read this book. It's called The Puddle Pail. And we're going to read about it and see what it's about. You ready? Let's get to it. One bright morning after a storm, Ernest, a young blue crocodile, and his big green brother Sol set off for the beach. They skipped through wet grass and stamped through the mud, drumming on their shiny pails. "I'm going to fill my pail with shells," said Sol, who loved to collect things. "I'm going to fill my pail with sand and build a sand castle," said Ernest, who loved to make things. "Maybe I'll find some rocks too," said Sol. "All shapes and colors for my rock collection, and some feathers for my feather collection, and maybe some string." Sol bent down and picked up a rubber band. "Just the thing for my rubber band collection. You ought to start a collection, Ernest." "I don't know what to collect," Ernest replied. "Collect something you really like," said Sol. "Something that comes in all different sizes and colors and shapes. That way your collection will be interesting." Ernest watched the clouds make flower shapes and seahorse shapes in the windy sky. He watched a little snake cloud puff up into a dragon. He watched a rabbit cloud curl up into a ball. "Clouds are interesting," he said. "I wish I could collect clouds." "Clouds?" said Sol. "You can't collect clouds. Think of something you like." "Stars," said Ernest. "Imagining the sky at night, I love to watch the stars." "But you can't collect stars either," said Sol. "They're too far away and too big and very, very hot." "They look so small and cold," said Ernest. "I wish I could collect stars." "I know," said Sol. "Starfish. You could collect them." "I like starfish in the ocean," said Ernest, "but I don't think I want to collect them." "Well," Sol suggested, "what about star-shaped cookies? You could collect star-shaped butter cookies with frosting, and star-shaped chocolate cookies with sprinkles," Ernest added, "and star-shaped cherry cookies with toasted nuts," said Sol. Ernest's mouth got watery. "I wish I could collect a bunch of cookies right now in my stomach." Just then, something caught Sol's eye, a bottle cap laying in the puddle. "Look at that sparkly bottle cap, Ernest. You could start a bottle cap collection." "It's pretty," Ernest agreed. "But I like the puddle. It's even more." "The puddle," said Sol. "It looks like a piece of sky on the ground. I wish I could collect it." "You can't collect puddles," said Sol. "Yes, I can collect puddles," said Ernest. "They're not too far away or too big or too hot, and I don't want to eat them." Splish splash. Ernest scooped the puddle into his pail. "Ernest," said Sol, "you're not really going to start a puddle collection, are you?" "Yes," said Ernest, "I am." He scooped up a green puddle around as it saw splish splash. It joined the other puddle in the pail. Sol rolled his eyes. "Since you're going to stay here collecting puddles, I'll go down to the beach myself and collect real things." "Puddles are real," thought Ernest as he searched for more more to collect. Here's a purple puddle, and a striped one, and a flowered one. Here's a puddle full of diamonds, and a puddle full of squares. Cool. A puddle full of gumballs, and a puddle full of brooms, a puddle like an Easter egg, a puddle like a wheel, and a puddle like a pretzel in it. That is super cool. Slippery puddles, smooth puddles, lemony, lettery, cool puddles. Ernest sang a song as he scooped the puddles up. Splish, splash, sang the puddle as they slid into the pail. Sol came back with his pail piled high. Look what I got, Ernest. 12 shells, 8 feathers, 19 rocks, 3 clumps of seaweed, 1 marble, half a nutshell, a plastic dinosaur without his head. I got lots of puddles, Ernest announced, all different sizes and colors and shapes. Sol peered into Ernest's pail. Your puddles have all run together. They look like a pail full of ordinary water. They're one big puddle now, said Ernest, and Ernest and Sol puddle. That's the weirdest collection I've ever heard of, Sol replied. What can you do with a puddle? I'll think of something. Ernest carried his pail carefully as they started for home. I know, said Sol. You can help me wash the sand off my new collections. You can wash your own collections, Ernest replied. I'll think of something to do with my puddle. Ernest set his puddle pail on the grass and sat down to swing. While he swung, his puddle slowly turned into gold to pink. Clouds swam in and out of it like fishes. When the night fell, stars collected in his puddle pail, a little piece of moon too. Cool. Early the next morning, Ernest went to check on his pail. A thirsty dog was drinking from it. You like my magic puddle soup? Ernest asked. The dog wagged her tail and drank some more, leaving Ernest just enough water to paint some watercolor pictures. Ernest painted the dog, and he painted some clouds and some stars and many puddles. Sol came by, his pail filled with flowers and acorns and leaves. I started some new collections, he said. What have you got there, Ernest? A dog, replied Ernest, and a painting collection. Ooh, said Sol. What a collection with clouds and stars and everything. I used part of my puddle collection to make it, Ernest explained. The dog drank the other part. Ernest petted the dog. He looked at the clouds and the stars and the puddles shining on the grass. He felt proud and happy and hungry too, since he hadn't eaten breakfast yet. Let's go collect blackberries, he said from the bushes down the road. Good idea, Sol grabbed his pail. Maybe we'll find some pennies on the way and some pine cones and gum wrappers. And maybe some shadows too, said Ernest. Shadows, said Sol. You can't. Yes, I can collect shadows, Ernest cried. He caught one for his second pail. And when it fluttered off, he and Sol filled their pails and themselves with sweet, juicy blackberries. The end. Well, boys and girls, that's the end of the story. Until next time, bye.